Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to deep dive into HP Omen 17-inch 2024 edition, and this laptop has surprised me in many ways. So let's take a look at specs first. Specs are AMD Ryzen 9 8000 series, 5.2 GHz clock speed, and this actually is a very capable CPU. Now for GPU we have NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060, we have 32 gigs of RAM and 1 TB SSD. And this is important to understand that this laptop comes in many different versions, so there is 4050, 4060 and 4070 version, and I have the 4060 version, so you can expect something like 4060 performance. When it comes to screen, we have a pretty nice and decent and color accurate screen, which is IPS 17.3-inch screen, and this is full HD screen, 1080p. The refresh rate is variable here, which is good for battery saving, so something between, not something, but actually between 48 and 144 Hz and 7 milliseconds response time. This screen is actually pretty bright at 300 nits, nothing as bright as, for example, MacBook, but this is a gaming laptop and this is good for saving battery, so 300 nits in most case scenarios is enough. There's a healthy selection of ports here. We have two USB-C Type A, 10 gigabits, one USB Type A, 5 gigabits with HP Sleep and Charge system if somebody uses it. Then you have one Power Smart pin, which is again just a pin to power the laptop, to charge it, and we have HDMI 2.1, jack and microphone, and Ethernet and USB-C with 10 gigabits of speed with display port. And this is important that it does have a display port because you can connect through this USB-C port to your USB-C equipped monitor, and it does display the image through a USB-C port, but it does not charge like it would on MacBook because of course it would need much more power to charge it. It's a gaming laptop after all. Generally speaking, I am very happy with this solution that most of the ports are here. This is something a lot of you guys know from Lenovo laptops, and I like it because it can stay clean and tidy, so you can hide your disk and your peripherals on the back. Everything you connect to this laptop stays out of sight and is not sticking out of the body. However, there's one thing that is missing here, one drawback, one downside, and I hope HP is listening and they will introduce it with the next version of it, which is SD card reader. I didn't find one. Let me know if there's one that I didn't find. SD card reader, even a slow one, would be something super handy, because if you want to use it as your productivity and gaming machine, as your desktop replacement, that is an important thing. Now you're stuck with dongle. Let's talk about keyboard and build quality. Build quality is generally very okay. It's minimalistic. Now you have this nice Omen logo, nothing like before, in this previous generation screaming I'm a gaming laptop and you are ashamed to go to business meeting with it, or nothing like that. On the keyboard you have special button here for Copilot if you need one, and then you have one button for this HP Operation Center, where you can change your settings for performance or quiet mode and all this kind of modes. Now, very important is that this laptop, actually, when we are talking about the sound, is quiet. You can listen for yourself to the fans. I thought this huge gamer will scream, and it's not, because the chassis is good. There are big vents on the back, big vents on the bottom here, you can see for yourself, and this laptop actually is quiet, and it's more quiet even in real life than you heard on the recording, when it's only recording the hiss of the vents. And it stays cool to the touch, which is nice, and the keyboard is cool, is very nice, is very clicky, no problems with it. I like the travel distance here, and there's of course this separate part with numbers. So overall, very good experience. Touchpad is nothing great, but it's big, it's responsive, not the top quality one, but something completely enough, to work on a go. It weighs 2.95 kilograms, so it's a substantial weight excluding the charger. However, talking about the charger itself is not as huge as I thought it would be, because back in the days, those chargers for gaming laptops were big bricks. One of the downsides of the design of this black body is that it's easy to leave fingerprints on the chassis, so that's something to keep in mind. The webcam is 1080p, and it looks and sounds, the microphone sounds like that. So this is how camera looks like and sounds like. It seems wholly good enough for video conferencing and this kind of usage, or some chatting while gaming. So that's it. It's 1080p, decent performer. You have this shutter for the privacy here, so something important for people that are privacy aware, like me, for example. Let's talk about battery life. I managed to do to run this guy for 3 hours in a real life mix scenario. Nothing like synthetic benchmark there, nothing like synthetic battery drainer there, but just playing 2 games like Helldivers and Batman Arkham Knight for 15 minutes each, installing DaVinci Resolve, unpacking DaVinci Resolve, installing DaVinci Resolve, editing in DaVinci Resolve, testing everything in DaVinci Resolve, and like, did I say DaVinci Resolve too many times? I probably did. Some photo editing, and then at the end some YouTube videos, and then at the end listening to the music, like in the background from YouTube. It lasted 3 hours at maximum 300 nits brightness, which I like to do because I don't like, you know, to drop down this lightness. I like this screen to be bright and visible. 3 hours, really not bad. I was positively surprised, so that would be pretty much enough for my, you know, cafe outside editing session. Talking about listening to the music, the loudspeakers, built-in loudspeakers are pretty decent. They're pretty okay. Nothing spectacular. Still, Apple wins in this category with practically every computer I've had so far, but there is some low frequency there. You can hear it for yourself for a while. It sounds okay, like a good laptop. Now, let's talk about the productivity performance. So, in DaVinci Resolve, I was really positively surprised. 4K, no need to drop the quality to, I don't know, half or quarter. Full quality 4K timeline, smooth playback, smooth transitions, smooth text, animation, and the export times very good. So it exports 4K 10 bits 4:2 from my Sony A7 Mark IV with color correction and with some text on average with something between 41 and 45 frames per second, and it is a decent performance. And we are talking about this performance on a battery, which is insane. So when plugged in, you can get some bump to around 50 frames per second when it comes to export times. So overall, a very good performer in productivity tasks, and generally speaking, AMD Ryzen is doing great job here when it comes to just regular stuff like browsing the internet, like switching between applications. It is a smooth experience, I tell you. Now, gaming, the most important part. Helldivers 2 1080 Ultra, maximum settings on battery, 80 to 85 frames per second, super smooth. So the most important part is, there's a lot of synthetic benchmarks of laptops with RTX 4060, but with this big chassis, it stays cool, it doesn't scream, it is very responsive, you can play on battery, and it will give you like 1 hour and something of playback depending on the title, of gaming depending on the title. But that is actually a good experience, and like these frame rates are very decent for the game on battery. It would get much higher, of course, when plugged in, but not that much higher actually. That's interesting, but let's talk about it later. Now let's talk about the Batman Arkham Knight, which is 1080 high, 90 frames per second. There's a frame lock that I had it on, 90 frames sharp, no drops, no hiccups. You can see like as I'm moving this mouse here, and it is really smooth, which brings me to a very important conclusion, that 17-inch laptop with this big chassis, this heavy, can perform very well on a battery. This battery is big, you can turn into performance mode, and you can get a very decent on-the-go experience, both editing, gaming, and doing any productivity tasks. This performs very well. It doesn't get too hot because it's a big chassis, and the ventilation is very good, the airflow is very good. It doesn't go too loud, which is very annoying when you are in the cafe and your laptop screams like crazy. That's nothing you want. But the most important question to me, the one that is in the title, is, does it make sense to have such a big laptop? Yes and no. For many people that want to travel with laptop, if you want to travel around the world, if you're like going for a trip to South America or South Africa or South Asia or South Europe, whatever South you go. So we don't know what I mean, right? So that's not the best choice out there, okay? There are 14-inch laptops that are very capable, even 16-inch laptop from Asus, like recently released, S-line. Those laptops are much smaller, much thinner, much lighter, and it will give you good performance too. However, when it comes to a very comfortable laptop that you can take to the meeting, to school, that you can fit into a regular backpack, like a school backpack, like this one, and you can see me fitting in like to this backpack, this laptop to this backpack, including charger and mouse, then it's a very good solution, and then you can put it on your desk and you don't need an external monitor because this one is big enough, it's very comfortable and very nice to work with, and it does perform and everything at a very decent price, because like you can buy this guy in US for something around $1,300, but I think it's with RTX 4050, correct me if I'm wrong, but here in Europe equipped with RTX 4060 you can buy it for something like 1,500 euros, which is not the cheapest one out there, but it is a good performer. However, when it comes to like photography type of backpack that I use to carry my drone, carry my cameras, and carry my photography equipment, this laptop does not fit in. It's just too big for this kind of backpack, unless you have a backpack with a top load, or you can, you know, squeeze a little bit of this space out there. I hope this review helped you to make a decision if 17-inch is something for you. I'm positively surprised how good this thing is, and actually it does give you quite a lot of portability. But if portability is your, you know, priority, then of course there are other better choices for you. I hope that helps you to make a decision. Once again, I hope you like this review. Please leave thumbs up, subscribe, comment below, and I see you guys in the next recording. Cheers.